This video is going to be about why you should avoid the Commodore SUPER EXPANDER cartridge for the 64 and get Simon's Basic instead. Because even though the SUPER EXPANDER cartridge looks a whole lot like Basic 7.0 on the 128, it's missing a lot of really important commands. Where Simon's Basic basically has it all, pretty much. So I'm going to put the Simon's Basic in here. We'll take a look at it. Hopefully, if it boots up, there it is. Okay, so this is Simon's Basic. You want a directory, you just do that. Pretty simple. That's like typing directory on the 128 or the +4 16 in Basic, and it doesn't it doesn't interfere with your Basic program. Directory listing, Basic program's intact. You can't do that with a SUPER EXPANDER cartridge. It has no disk commands at all. Another thing is that for sprites, which I've not gone into too much yet on this thing, you basically define the sprites inside the basic code, and that's a good idea. I wrote a basic for Android called Scotty Animation Basic. Very unique name, huh? And I did the same thing, where you can define your sprites inside the code, which is a good idea. Now, the SUPER EXPANDER does have a sprite definition program like that's on the Commodore 128 Basic 7.0, but there's really no real easy way to save that to disk and load it back in, not without resorting to machine language once again. So this is just a very basic preliminary review of these two cartridges, and it's pretty clear that Simon's Basic is way more advanced than the SUPER EXPANDER 64. This has no disk commands, the SUPER EXPANDER 64. It's missing B-save and B-load that's on the Basic 7.0 for the Commodore 128, and it's just not as good as Simon's Basic. So in the next episode, I'm going to write a game using Simon's Basic. The syntax is a little different. I like how the SUPER EXPANDER 64 has commands that are basically the same in Basic 7.0 on the Commodore 128, but it's missing some very important commands. So it's really not that good, actually. So I'll be going with Simon's Basic on this one. It's just, what, 114 additional programming commands, and plus you can get a directory without erasing your program. That's a big deal, okay? Because when you're developing a game on the actual hardware, that makes a huge difference. You don't have to manually write something down on a sheet of paper to keep track of, try to remember what you've got stored on disk. You just look at it like it's a modern computer. So that's it for this episode. Next episode, I'll be going ahead with writing games on the Simon's Basic on the 64. I do need to replace the SID chip on the 64. It's flaky. It's going out. Probably I think there's 3 audio channels on this thing. I think 2 of them are like, the volume's so low you can't even hear it hardly. Plus the mouse and paddles will not work. So the SID chip is going out on this machine, but I'm going to replace it hopefully tomorrow or the next day. So until then, Scotty Animation, I'll talk to you later.